Get it. We got DJ Five Venoms in the house.
Sir.
What's up, man? We coming live from True Cuts Barber Lounge. I appreciate you coming in today.
Definitely. Appreciate you having me.
You already know, man. We got Rolling Loud's official DJ in the house, man. Let's give him a round of applause, man. Dope, man. What's up, DJ? How you doing, man? Everything cool?
Good, man. Good. Just traveling, doing gigs, working.
Word, man. Let's go ahead and I want you to formally go ahead and introduce yourself to our viewers today, man. Let us know a little bit about you.
Definitely DJ Five Venoms, Rolling Loud's official DJ. Live here in Miami. Originally from Jersey, right outside of Philly. Lived in Orlando for a while too. DJ, doing clubs, the festivals, dropping singles, working with artists. A little bit of everything.
Okay, so before you came to Miami, I heard you say Orlando.
Yes, lived in Orlando for 10 years. Went to school out there too.
Wow, man. So I'm assuming once you got out of high school, you decided to come down to Central Florida for college, or?
Kind of. When I first got out of high school, I went to community college for a couple years.
Okay.
And then I kind of lost interest. Midway through, I was playing drums back then, so I was in a band. I was touring in the band, and the band kind of like stalled out a little bit. This is while I was in college, and I kind of got disinterested in college. I was going for music, and I took all the music classes, and then like all I had left was like a couple classes where it was just like statistics class and like world history too, and I just kind of got bored and stopped going. And so I was working for like a couple of years, and then decided to go to school at Full Sail, which is a school that was 100% concentrated on recording, music, like everything about it. Moved to Orlando.
Oh, so you have a background music as far as instruments.
Yeah.
You played drums in high school?
Yeah, played drums in high school, in the band, marching
cool,
band.
Man. Oh, that's fire, bro. What kind of band was it?
It was actually a metal band. I was
shit, that's fire.
Yeah, it was crazy because I was touring in a metal band, played with a lot of big bands, festivals. So it's kind of like I was in the hip hop world that I'm in now with Rolling Loud, but I was doing it with like metal bands.
Oh, that's so dope, man. That's so dope. So, okay, so then after that fell out, you wanted to go concentrate more in depth in music as far as recording, production, all those things.
And I was DJing as well around that time, so just like.
Were you DJing before getting to Orlando, or is that something you picked up while you were in Orlando?
Well, DJing was something that's been in my life since probably like 10. My cousin was a DJ, and he lived in Virginia. I would spend my summers at his house during when I was growing up. So I would always be in his room, going through all his records while he's at work, playing music on the turntables, all that. So it's always been something I've done like since I was 10, and then I picked it up seriously. I probably want to say like 2005 maybe, around that time.
Oh, that's dope, man. So you were going to school and doing gigs. Were you like doing clubs or parties, or personal, private parties, or what kind of?
Yeah, while I was in school, I wasn't DJing as much because like the school load with Full Sail, you go year round. Well, back then everything was year round, and you pretty much in class 8 to 12 hours a day. Sometimes late nights, and your schedule's changing every month, so it was hard to DJ around that. I was still going out and networking and everything, but like having like a steady DJ gig was difficult going to that school. And then once my schedule started picking up gigs here and there, then got a residency at a club, doing like a Monday night every Monday, then that built on to other clubs and gigs and networking and that type of thing.
Okay. So primarily you started at a club DJing while you were in school, and ultimately did the club scene evolve into the festivals, or how'd that go about?
So
How'd you go from the club to eventually uh, the platform of Rolling Loud?
yeah,
How was
so
that transition?
so the clubs and the concerts were like two separate things. And back then they didn't complement each other really, especially for like that type of club scene and the kind of concerts I was doing. So like you're in the club, you're playing, at Jeezy Plies, Rick Ross, and the shows I'm doing are with like at the time a brand new like Denzel Curry, a Playboy Cardi, 21 Savage, Post Malone. Like at that time, they weren't the household names they are now. They're the up and coming rappers that are doing rooms with like 400 people, 1,000 people, and a lot of people didn't understand why I was DJing these shows with these artists, and I'm not in the clubs as heavily as other DJs, and that part of doing those concerts kind of grew for me, and working with the guys, Tarek and Matt, that owned Rolling Loud at the time. They had a company called Dope E&T, and they were doing tours through Orlando, Tampa, Miami, and I was their Orlando DJ. So I was opening up all the shows, doing my set, and then I would sometimes DJ for artists. I was building my brand on this underground, at the time, hip hop scene, and that's what built me up to being the Rolling Loud DJ and being dependable, being on point, understanding the music,
So you
understanding
built that relationship with the fellas from Rolling Loud, from meeting them, doing the other festivals when they were Dope E&T before.
Yeah, doing their shows, the concerts. So my initial meeting them was I was DJing for an artist. His name was West Fifth, and they had booked him for one of their first early shows with Currency. And they had booked him because he was a bubbling artist in Orlando. And the idea is you book an artist that has some following, put him on the show. He's marketing the show for you, and that's how I originally met them. We did a few shows with them, and I asked Tarek. I was like, "Yo, let me DJ for your shows." And at the time, they had DJ Demp from Tallahassee doing a lot of those shows, and they were like, "All right, cool." So the first show I did, Demp was there. I opened for Demp. And they're like, all right, cool, we're going to lock you in. You're going to be our Orlando DJ. So I was doing all their shows from pretty much like 2011 until now.
Wow, man, that's incredible. Where was the first Rolling Loud event?
The first Rolling Loud was in Wynwood. I think the spot was called Soho.
Oh, okay, so it was here in Miami.
Yeah, the first one was 2015. One day, I believe the spot's called Soho in Wynwood, and
it's not where the 3 Points is.
No, where three points is Monet. So that was our second year.
Oh,
We had a smaller one the first year. The first year, Schoolboy Q headline, but the lineup, like when looking back at that lineup now, it's insane. Schoolboy Q was the headliner. We had ASAP for Juicy J. Travis Scott was on that as like a midday set.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Currency was on that.
A midday set to now maybe even being
out of here. Yeah, it's like headline. We got a lot of shows coming up. So
that's great, man.
And that show it rained out. the venue flooded halfway through the day. It was crazy.
So you know what's funny? I had a friend of mine that actually, he was a barber at the shop, and at the time when Rolling Loud was happening, he told me he was gonna go over to do some errands or something, and turns out he actually went to the Rolling Loud event. I'm not sure if that was his plans, but he ended up going there, and he was mentioning to me something about it being free, or some, I don't know. How true is that?
It probably wasn't planned to be free. What happened was a lot of, like I said, it was rained out, and it's probably the worst rain I've ever seen. And that's on Miami standards, like 3 feet of water in the roads,
especially in those areas.
Yeah, and the way it was set up was there was like a ticketing area across the street from the actual venue. but it was raining so hard that people were literally just like running in and just running into the venue.
Wow.
And like no one's really stopping them because it was like
probably
pouring raining.
Probably people working there that didn't even want to get wet either.
Yeah, if you go on like the YouTube video, there's like a recap video for that show, and like one of the clips is someone like running in the door and like sliding in like for
baseball slide.
Yeah, like sliding in.
That's
like
hilarious.
And just the rain, but once that rain stopped, the whole show it was awesome.
Wow, man. So from having a background in music, as far as your upbringings, from drumming to playing in a band, to starting school, not going to school, going back to school, learning everything that you've learned from the clubs to the festivals to now being Rolling Loud's official DJ. What is the best lesson you have learned in your life so far?
The best lesson. There's a lot of lessons, but I can say one thing that got me to where I'm at now is doing the things that other people won't do and going the extra mile or doing the jobs that other people just don't want to do. And everything looks sweet from the outside, but like doing the things that need to be done when they need to be done, that are the hard things, that are things that are uncomfortable, are what separates people from.
Those are what I like to call the unseen hours that entrepreneurs put in, and not just entrepreneurs, man. From the lowest, I don't want to use the word lowest, but from maybe the guy that has the least task to the most important task. It's really about what really shapes you. I believe is all the work you do after you're done. You know what I'm saying? Like, I finished this, but like, you just keep going. You don't even finish. You just keep going.
Non-stop process.
Right. You're not waiting for someone to tell you, hey, go ahead and do this and do that. You just, keep tackling.
I had one of my big homies always told me, he's like, the lifestyle that we live, like 99.9% of the world will never see, experience, like what we do on a regular daily basis, like especially, living in Miami, it's like paradise, but they'll never experience, and it's like, I cherish being able to do the work that I do, and being in the position that I am, and seeing the things that I've seen, and doing the things that I do.
That's something that I compare to being really passionate about something. Passionate when you love something, man. You're not working.
Nah, that's the truth. That's definitely the truth.
You're being you. I heard this funny story of of a wife that was telling her husband that he worked so much and he's always working. She was like, listen, I want you to pick a place that you would want to go to for the next 5 days and clear your mind out and I want you to do something you love to do, right? So the gentleman was like, okay. So the next day she calls him and he's like, where are you? And he's like, well, honey, I'm in the office. She's like bugged out. She's like, what do you mean you're in the office? I told you to go do something you love doing. And he's like, I am. And it was just like, you're not working. It's another day.
Like,
it's a lifestyle, man.
It's like, I picked DJing because it's something that I do for free. Like, I'm at home DJing.
Absolutely.
And I enjoy it. So it's like, I get to make money doing that. I get to make a living. I get to travel the world and do what I love to do for free and make money for it.
That's amazing. That's always a great feeling. So you went from all that time, from learning that about yourself, and we're in our present day. And what are you learning right now that that maybe that's new to you?
Delegating. The more and more I want to grow, I'm realizing like I gotta have a team and understand like building. Like I've done a lot by myself, but like having help and being able to have people work on my behalf, vice versa, and building something bigger than just myself, I think is really what one of the big things I'm working on right now. just growth. Like I feel anyone that has super success, like you know, there's people you look up to. They have a team. They got people working behind the scenes that are putting things together on their behalf. Because you can't do everything by yourself.
No, you can't, man. And you know, it's funny. You know, True Cuts and before all that, you know, I was just a barber. And from a barber, you know, reaching my peak as just a barber to realizing that, you know, I can hold on or hold up a barbershop to have enough to give to clients and all that. I mean, to give barbers clients. And being in the position I'm in now, it's funny you use the word delegate. That's my thing for 2023 is delegate and educate. Whether I'm receiving the education or I'm giving the education, and finding a team to be able to delegate my blind spots, my weaknesses. That way I can really solely focus on my strengths. You know, because the thing is, I feel like sometimes we get caught in the things that we don't do well, and we, at least I speak for myself, that I feel like I can get better at it, learn it, and do it. So you get caught in doing so many things, realize you don't have time to do everything. And the thing is, there's somebody that mastered where you're weak, you know, and it's like being able to trust people, you know, and putting the right people in position from day one to help you do those things. And I believe that's something that that's great that you're going through that process, because I feel like I'm somewhat going through that same process too, and really trusting that to get bigger, you do have to have a team that does, you know, a team that does this, that does that does this, that brings it all together and forms that super successful situation you're talking about.
For sure, man. But like, it's like, look at this. Like you put together a product, you put together a brand, and sometimes, like especially a brand that you put a lot on yourself, and then trusting. I think it's more of a trust issue sometimes too, with like being able to delegate certain things and hope that it gets done. Not only gets done well, but gets done in the sense the way you would want it to get done, if not better.
Absolutely. And you know what I realized another thing too, man, about instead trusting that it doesn't have to be you necessarily that does it, or that came up with that idea, or that, you know, because the whole point is being okay in as far as like maybe our ego or our pride to congratulate someone else for your success.
Yeah.
You know,
that's true.
Because we can't do it by ourselves, man. We're gonna absolutely get capped somewhere, man. You know.
It's only so much time and concentration, and then yeah, you're right.
Absolutely, man. So you know, from learning, and you know, we learn every day, and you know, just to go a little bit maybe back in time and throughout your journey, uh, how has failure ultimately shaped you and your career to this present day?
I think failure for me has been a big part of it. Failure does two things for me. It shows me how to get it done right and what not to do. It's kind of like in my mindset with it. You know, if this doesn't work, what did I do wrong in that process that I can fix? Or maybe it's not meant to happen that way. So yeah, failure, other people's failure sometimes too are the teaching tools, like seeing other people do things and maybe fail at it, uh, and then kind of studying it and seeing, okay, this is what they did, this is where the mistake happened. Okay, so if you try this and do it this way, maybe it will work.
Absolutely. You know, and you know, it took, like you said, failing to ultimately get you. Imagine that if the band wouldn't have failed, you wouldn't have grown into a like you were saying, a residential DJ. You know, if it wasn't for, I'm not saying you necessarily failed at club DJing. It could have been that club DJing failed you.
Yeah.
You know, to where you grew into these festivals and being able to do the Rolling Loud now.
It yeah, some of the failures, I believe what's for me is for me type of thing too. So it's like some of the failures, looking back, weren't necessarily failures. They were stepping stones. There's a lot of situations where I feel like I took like 2 steps back, but I took like 10 forward.
Or
And after it, so it's kind of like, just working through it, and the failures also are like the test of like, are you really meant to be doing this? Are you really meant to be pushing through and kind of testing yourself? And when you get on the other side of some of those failures, it feels good. Like, I wouldn't be here in Miami if, back in the day, maybe I kept the gig, or like you said, like the band worked out. Like, where would I be if some of these failures didn't happen and I had to pivot and try different things and new things?
absolutely, that's amazing, man. What would you say from your years of experience now doing the Rolling Loud? What's something major that you would say you switched up throughout the years, as far as learning and growing to the size of the venues that you are in now?
Oh yeah. I don't know. It's been gradual. Like the growth of Rolling Loud, like every situation I've been in is, even from the start with these shows and the concerts, like learning the artists, learning the music, the crowd adapting to the different styles of music, and really seeing like the reactions and what people are really listening to. It's a whole process. I don't think it really changes much from when I look at like the club stuff I do too. It's like the same mindset, but just knowing the different audiences and understanding what works in different audiences. Definitely learned a lot more on like the production side of festivals and the inner workings of festivals and where I fit in that situation. Even as far as like Rolling Loud's festival, like I'm, an artist is missing or an artist is late to stage, I'm the filler. So I have to come in and hold down that stage, keep the vibe up, keep the energy up. Even though the artist that they're there to see isn't there, but
Right.
they gotta be,
You gotta save the party.
yeah, save the. So, learn a lot in those situations, how to manage a crowd that's disappointed and still keep their
Wow.
energy up. That, and these are the things that like a lot of people don't talk about when it's like, I can do that, I can do that. It's like, nah, there's a science to this. There's like, dealing.
You had to be with that first angry crowd to know how to get through that.
Yeah, like covering, especially as it gets later in the night, like it gets, you're talking about like a Kodak Black missing, like where the people are there to see him. Little Dirk missing, like
Yeah,
people are
they're
there
gonna
to
they're
see
gonna
him.
yeah you're gonna go
Yeah,
bananas.
so it's kind of like holding that down, keeping the energy up, and making sure like the crowd's happy and they're not getting too rowdy and everything. Because a lot of times you'll see like if a crowd, it's like idle hands. They if they're not entertained and they're not, energy gets bad. So
Right.
you try to keep that energy.
Let me ask you a question. How hard was it to shape the logistics of you know booking these artists and making sure they run fluent in the sense that there's a stigma in the hip hop culture of a lot of rap beats and things like that. Uh, how do you guys go about making sure these guys don't cross paths, or as far as keeping up with the news on it, or is that something you guys have like a team directly for?
Not a team directly for. Everybody that's working at the festival, for the most part, is in the culture. We're hip hop fans, so we're keeping an eye on everything that's going on. Everyone that's working together, everyone that's not getting along. It definitely plays a part in the booking process. Even like what day people are on, uh, those type of things. Yeah, definitely safety is number one across the board. Even with backstage access and different things like that. A lot of times the artists are they're in their compound, they're hitting the stage, and then they're out, limiting who sees each other, that type of thing. So
yeah,
definitely.
I remember for a couple. I don't want to say a couple years. One year where it was like wow, as far as like not the concert directly. Mm-hmm. But almost like everything outside of the concert.
Yeah,
where like the city.
Yeah, the city. So that part of
it. Did you guys get any like backlash as far as even?
I mean, that's the
allowing
media.
Your concert.
Yeah, well, I don't think about allowing it because it's like spring break in general, right?
Like, can't stop.
You look at Miami spring break and there's incidences. It's not to say that one venue is causing it or anything like that. I mean, shootings almost every day. There's fights. There's all types of stuff going on. We watch the news. Right. So, but to that answer, like that year, it's a big event. It's a big thing in hip hop. Everybody wants to be in the city if they're booked or if they're not, because like a lot of work gets done. That's the other cool thing about the festival is like having all those artists in one place. There's a lot of songs that get the studio to pop. Everyone's in the studio after the show. They're working. Like clubs are popping. So it's like people.
The city generates a lot.
Exactly. So, people cross paths that like they might not cross paths in other places because everyone's not there.
Right.
Some people don't act right.
No, absolutely. That's dope, man. That's real cool, man. So from being in the industry and in the circle and rooms you get to be around, there's something I'm working on that I really want to get better in my network, and as far as maybe people I can learn things from and know about their experiences. As a young entrepreneur myself, who do you know that maybe I should know?
Probably homie Stevie Williams.
Okay.
He's the founder of DGK skate brand. He's like probably like the poster black skater from Philly. Created a company DGK.
Stevie Williams.
Yeah.
Williams. You know what? I was at the Virgil fashion show, and I saw a gentleman most of the day without his shirt on, walking around in skateboarding shoes, and I was trying to figure out who this gentleman was. And I remember at the end when we did the walkout, he was holding his not costume, his outfit was with a skateboard.
Yep, that's Stevie.
Yes. Wow.
It's Stevie. Stevie was good friends with Virgil. Yeah, like Virgil was sending like a lot of the Louis Vuitton kits signed, like all this, like Stevie was skating in them, like
that's amazing.
Yeah, it was fun.
Man, that would be so cool to connect with somebody like that, man. I know, being a skateboarder from Philadelphia and being able to impact the culture as far as opening and diversing the sport of skateboarding.
Definitely. I mean, even the idea
or the lifestyle.
Yeah, and that's what he's big on is the lifestyle culture of skateboarding. And it's kind of crazy even how he came up with the DGK, which means Dirty Ghetto Kids. And when he was younger, he's skating in a spot called Love Park in Philly. It's like the center of the city. And all the other guys are skating, and the magazines come and they take pictures for the magazines, and they're taking pictures of him, and the other skaters are like, nah, don't take pictures of him, that's a dirty ghetto kid. And so he took that, flipped it, and created his company.
That's amazing.
And turned that negative into a positive.
Wow. That is so cool, man.
I'll be that dirty ghetto kid.
That's a dope story, man. The fact that he was able to take that, you can call it pain if you like, disappointment, and really build something impactful for many kids and many people in maybe inner cities and things of that nature. That's amazing, man. I would love to meet Steve, man. That'd be cool somehow.
Yeah, he's definitely out. He's out here all the time.
Cool, man. If we could somehow set something up, man, that would be amazing.
Right, I'll definitely talk to him.
All right, cool, man. We'll definitely keep in contact about that, man. Absolutely. So about a year and a half ago, I really got into reading. Something that I don't want to say I didn't read. I know how to read, but actually, take time out of my day to actually read, and it's really helped me change a lot about myself. So, it's a question that I like to ask a lot of people because, everyone's into different things and different situations that they maybe come across things to read that help them. So,
Yes.
What have you read that maybe I should read?
Look at the title. Hold on. One of the books I just finished a little bit ago. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Yeah, that book definitely recommend for everybody, especially like if you're an entrepreneur or you're someone that needs to network and talk to people or delegate and you're working with a lot of people. And it really changed my mindset on how I talk to people and how even like instructing people or giving criticism or taking criticism and how to word things in a certain way that don't offend people and make it a more positive experience with dealing with you. And for me, the actual title of the book, like that influence and people and everything, it's more about like making people feel better in situations that normally, you could be like, don't do that. Tell someone not to do that, or be like, hey, let's try this a different way.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like
every time you tell people not to do something, it's or even criticize or absolutely. There's always a different avenue to approach people like that, and that's a great example right there.
Yeah, and that's what that book kind of capsules like that mindset, changing that mindset.
Was that book referred to you by somebody, or?
I seen other people reading it, and I was just like, let me check this out. And talking with people sometimes is like, I'm an introvert, so it's like talking with people sometimes is like, especially new people, it mentally sometimes it's a little difficult for me. So it's just like, all right, this might help me with that. But it does. Like
sometimes I suffer from that a little bit, man. It's like a social anxiety of some kind. And that's one thing that I really love about reading, that it's really helped me communicate better with other people. And the thing is, sometimes you stay quiet, or we don't even know what to ask people, or what questions to ask, or how to even.
Yeah.
All conversations start with a question.
Definitely.
You don't just start rambling on and someone's like, oh, hey, you kind of, just actually saying hello to somebody is already like.
It is, and it's kind of
How
crazy.
are you?
Because like even like growing up and like even coming up as a DJ. When I moved to Miami, I started working with a lot of the people I looked up to, and it's one thing when like you're on the outside trying to approach people and understanding how to approach people and then working with them and approaching them. And there's not really a difference. It's just really how you approach people. And I realize a lot of people don't know how to, if they're introverted or not. Like they don't even understand like how to talk to people, how to initiate a conversation, what that conversation should be, or like like even with me, it's like introducing, hey, I'm DJ Five Venoms, like I do X, Y, and Z. And I realize that everyone's always looking for things that can help them, like interactions. Like you're a barber, right? You cut hair. You have that tool. You have that skill set that can help people.
Absolutely.
And using your tool and offering your tool and the networking is how you build your network. And the same thing.
Right,
People have you want to talk to that person because they have something that you.
It's kind of like the who do you know that I should know is like bring your friend, right? So we can keep growing.
Yeah, you keep it growing. So it's just like I get DMs, emails, and I'm like reading them, and I'm like, you don't know even how to like send that message. Like, yo, I get a DM, and I'm like, I'm not even responding to it.
Yo, I need a cut. Yo, how much is your haircut?
Yeah, like all that type of stuff, bro. It's like, and they mean well, but it's just like, yo, it's such like a turn off on like even continuing the convo because it's just like, yo, you're not even understand. You're not even introducing yourself. Like, I don't know you. Like, I can see if like I knew you and we've been talking for years, and then you're like, yo, and I'm like, yo, what's good?
Yeah, but as far as now you're approaching people on business and new relationships, you gotta, first impressions worth a million comments.
A lot, definitely.
So that's dope, man. I'm gonna definitely check that out, man. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie.
Yes.
I'm gonna definitely look into that, man. That's super dope, man. So it leads into my next question. Throughout, your experiences in business and even, things for fun, it could be a mix. What have you done that maybe I should do?
Fun.
It could be anything anything you do to, bring healing or awareness or anything that brings you joy or.
I've been meditating every day. Kind of like in the part of my like morning process, kind of like we were talking about like with the reading. The meditating part, it gives me like calm before the storm in a sense, like start my day. It's not much, any 5 to 10 minutes, but it's just like a silence, calming, and get my brain and my focus under control to start my day. And it's helped me a lot. Like just I can even think through my day and visualizing certain things. And meditating has played a big part in just trying to keep my mental and physical mind together because like get stressed all day, every day, people, work, just normal stresses, and being able to like block that out for a good 5-10 minutes a day, it just gets you straight.
It's cool that you bring that up, meditating, man. Ever since I started, I have a morning routine that I journal, and then I read 30 minutes. My fiance taught me from her situation. Taking the time to meditate in the morning, that's actually the first step you're supposed to do, and I always skip that one, man. And I've been really wanting to be more open to that and taking that time to really keep the calm in my mind to start the day like that. And really be able to like get the mind going first, and maybe even reach out to the world, the universe for some affirmations and things of that nature. And like you said, it doesn't even take more than 5 minutes of your time or anything like that. All right, sir. Take care, brother.
When you're starting, I'll say, or at least for me, it was a little difficult because you're so used to like your mind running fast, and then you're like making yourself stop. Like, cause like the only time I would calm down is like before I'm going to sleep, or if I'm like chilling, I'm about to go to sleep. That's the only time that like you give your mind a rest. But like, giving your mind a rest on purpose and with like the intent of calming yourself is super important. Like just that whole process, and I think it plays into your journaling and the reading, and you set your brain up properly.
Let's go, man. Meditate. I'm gonna really make sure I'm gonna put that effort in, man, tomorrow to make sure my first 5 minutes, man, are gonna be in complete peace while I'm awake. Like you said, it shouldn't only be when you sleep.
And you feel refreshed after too. Like that's the cool part. Like you feel like you took a quick nap. Like it was just you're not getting eyes closed, just still, and resetting.
No, for sure. Man, that's awesome, man. DJ Five Venoms, man. Let me ask you a question, man. How What's behind the name DJ Five Venoms?
So I'm a huge Wu-Tang fan. Grew up listening to Wu-Tang.
Okay.
And one of the Kung Fu movies that they used to sample for, like, you know, the clips and the songs and everything, it's a movie called Five Venoms. And so I took it from that. The movie's dope, too. It's about the...
What's it called?
The Five Deadly Venoms.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about these, like, it's 6 students technically, but it's like 5 students that had this master, and he taught them all these different set skills based off, like, animals. So you get like, the snake, the lizard, the centipede, what's the other one?
They all have a different way of...
They all have different skill sets based off of
the animal instinct.
Yeah, toad. Yeah. So the animal instinct. So, and then there's one student that he taught a little bit of everything, and the master dies, and he tells the student to go find...
Hey, how you doing? Welcome. Yeah. Did you make the appointment?
So there was one student, before he died, he told him about all the other students and to go find them, and that's pretty much the movie is, and then all the different students are fighting each other. It's a crazy movie.
I gotta check that out, man. I never
yeah, it's like an old school Kung Fu movie, Shaw Brothers, like classics, like.
So Bang, so you watched that pretty young.
Yeah, I mean, probably like when I was in high school, I started getting into the Kung Fu movies and everything, and that was all off of like being a Wu-Tang fan.
To carry, so was that something that when you were creating your DJ name, is that something that it was like love at first sight kind of thing, or did you go through some?
Yeah, I went through.
What was your first name?
I don't remember. Bro.
Yeah,
like, that's it. Like, I've been Five Venoms for so long. It's like
that's
18
amazing.
years.
That's dope though.
Yeah, like the yeah, I couldn't even tell you. I know it was like I pretty much picked that.
Let me see if you can remember this. Do you remember your first venue? What was that like? Your first spin?
Probably my homeboy's house, his house party. Like I got the equipment, and my friends were like, "Yo, come DJ my house party," and I had bought the speakers, turntable. I might have had like 200 songs for the night. Like it was like that was it.
That's fire.
But yeah, my homie's crib. That was the first one. Had no clue what I was doing half the time.
That's dope, man. Look where it's
that's where it started.
That's beautiful, man. So we're gonna go ahead and my last question for you, my brother. Right. How can I assist you?
I don't know. You are right here, man. This content is key for everything. You know, you're introducing me to your fan base, and vice versa. So that's the help right there.
Word, man, word. No, I appreciate you coming here, man. I remember seeing you for some time now.
Yes.
You've been coming to True Cuts.
Yeah, and, shout out to Ray.
You've been yes. Shout out to Ray, man. Shout out to Ray. True Cuts Uptown. You know, you've been coming to True Cuts for some time now, and I had no idea, man, for some time that you were the DJ for Rolling Loud, man. Yep. That's awesome, bro. And you know, it's dope the way you carry yourself, man. Real chill. You know, sort of the way I move too, and you know, I'm glad Ray's been taking care of business, man. And you know, other than that, I really appreciate you coming here today and telling us more about yourself and about the Rolling Loud experience and your experience. I find you to be a very successful individual in what you do. And how you do, and I can from outside be able to see the growth of that festival, and the fact that you have a big part in it says a lot about you, man, and the guys that you're involved with. So that's real dope, man. I really appreciate you for coming today, man.
I appreciate you having me.
You already know, brother.